I am cooking up a sheet pan apple crisp. This is a recipe from our October issue. It was developed by my colleague Ananda Edelstein, and it is so delicious. It's easy and the perfect recipe for fall. So the first thing we want to do is we want to grease the sheet pan with some butter. Here we go, and you want to use a half sheet pan. If it's too small, it will kind of defeat the purpose of having all that extra lovely crispy topping. Nice and buttered. And then we're going to mix the apples right on the sheet pan. Of course, you can do it in a bowl if you want, but why wash another bowl, right? So we've got about 3 pounds of peeled and sliced apples. These are Gala apples, which are a great all-purpose apple. They are kind of sweet and tart. They hold their shape when baking, and they're not as expensive as Honey Crisps, which I love to eat, but I kind of save them for eating because they're a little pricey. So we've got our 3 pounds. It's about 11 Gala apples, and I am going to drizzle on 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This adds just a little nice tang to it, as well as helps keep the apples from browning. And then a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I like to use Kerrygold. It has a really nice, rich flavor. Yum. And then a 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. Go. And a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Perfect. So now you can mix this all up with your hands. You can use a spoon. I'm going to use my hands, and they're going to get very dirty, and I'm going to have to wash them. Okay, so we're going to set these yummy apples aside and make the crisp topping. So first of all, I'm going to set up a cutting board. Here is a little pro tip. To keep your cutting board from sliding around on the counter, just put a wet paper towel or towel underneath. It makes a huge difference. Yay, no sliding. So, okay, I've got a big bowl, and I'm gonna grab some oats and flour and spices, and then of course some butter. Lots of yummy good things here. All right, so we'll start by adding to the bowl 1 cup of rolled oats and 1 cup of just regular all-purpose flour. Go. And another 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Yum. And let's see, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You know, even though this is a sweet dessert, we want to have a little salt there. It helps bring out the flavors and balance the sweetness. And then some spices. This is what gives this crisp like such that wonderful fall fragrance. We've got 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cardamom. If you don't want to use the cardamom or you don't have it, that's okay. I know it can be a very polarizing spice, but I think it's delicious, so we're going to use it here. Just add that in. Great. And I'm going to give this just a little stir. Here is where the magic happens with the butter. So we want 3/4 cups of cold diced butter here. So that's a 1.5 sticks. And the butter, of course, is what gives the crisp topping its, you know, crispiness. There we go. And we want to dice this, you know, they don't need to be perfect cubes or anything like that. You just want them in pretty small pieces. So I'm going to get to work on that. And now I'm going to add the cubes into the flour mixture. And now here is the fun part. I'm gonna get my hands dirty and just dive right in, and I'm gonna rub the butter into the flour mixture. I want it to form, you know, big and small clumps, but what I'm trying to do is make sure that all, or at least most, of the flour is coated. And we've got some clumps starting to form. So you see I've got these here. I wanna just keep going until we have less of this dry flour oat mixture hanging out. All right, this is looking great. So you'll see I've still got some bigger clumps, but it all looks, you know, kind of moist and yummy and not dry. So now I'm going to bring back the sheet pan with the apples. And I'm just gonna pour this topping over and make sure it's pretty evenly spread. So you can see that this is a really free-form dish. There is nothing fussy about it, which is what I think makes the best desserts. All right, now it is going to go in a 375-degree oven until it's bubbly and golden and fragrant, and that will take about 55 minutes to an hour. All right, the crisp is done. It smells amazing. I wish you could smell it. You have to make it so you can smell it because that's how good it smells. You want to serve it warm or at room temperature. Too hot, obviously, it is not going to be an easy or delicious eating experience. So this is just right. It's just warm. Yum. I'm going to scoop it out into bowls. Oh, love that topping. I'm telling you, when you have this much topping, you can even make layers of topping in your bowl, which is just the best. All right, this is a big portion, but it's really good. It's worth it. I like to serve it with some vanilla ice cream. It will melt a little and just add that little extra creaminess to it. Not too much. I don't want to take away from the apples. Maybe one more little scoop. Perfect. And if you don't finish this for dessert, really, trust me, eat it for breakfast the next day with some plain Greek yogurt. So creamy and delicious. And because you have the yogurt, it is healthy.